Hey everyone, it's Sarah, and today I am back with a different kind of video, one that I've never done before. I am actually going to be doing a foundation wear test and review for you today. So the foundation we are going to be testing is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. So I've had this foundation for about a month now, and I do have some strong feelings about it. I've definitely had plenty of time to play with it, so I thought it would be a great foundation to start a kind of, I don't think I'll be doing a series, but it'll be a great foundation to start doing some wear tests for different foundations. The reason that I wanted to do this foundation particularly is because I do have quite dry skin. And this is a more natural finish foundation. So usually that means it's going to lean more towards the matte side of things, and usually on my dry skin, matte foundations do not look good. However, this foundation is beautiful. Spoiler alert, I do love this foundation. I did want to really do a review and a wear test on this though, so that those dry skin gals out there like me have something to kind of refer to if they are shying away from this foundation, because it is kind of a natural finish, not dewy or moisturizing type foundation. So anyways, let's just go ahead and jump into this. I'm going to start with the claims and what Ulta Beauty says about this foundation. So it is up to 24-hour fresh staying power, long-lasting foundation with the most lightweight, breathable texture, which I would highly agree with. Waterproof, transfer resistant, and sweat resistant foundation. I would also agree with that. I do work very long days. I work 10-hour days. I'm typically putting my makeup on at 5 o'clock in the morning, not getting home until about 6:30 at night. So, sorry, that was a cat fight outside. Oh my goodness. Okay. So that scared me so bad. I just got out of my little thing here on my phone. So anyways, medium to full buildable coverage foundation with a natural finish. I would definitely say that it is more on the medium coverage side. I do enjoy a medium coverage foundation more than any other type of foundation. I have never tried to build this one up, so I do have a little bit of something happening on my cheeks over here because I had a little sample of a Kiehl's Midnight Recovery Complex kind of oil that I put on my face night before last, and it broke me out really badly. So I do have some things I could use some extra coverage over, so I will definitely try to do some building up and see how well this builds up on the skin. So anyways, I am already washed and moisturized as I typically would do. I will say that I will be using a sponge only because I never use a brush with my foundation. Having dry skin, using a brush typically will just move around any of the kind of dead skin that could be sitting on the surface of my skin, and it makes foundations look really, really terrible on me. So I will be just going in with my sponge, which is how I typically apply my foundation on a daily basis. So anyways, let's just get started here. I'm going to put on a little headband to get my hair out of my face. And I'm just going to be using this little Jouer mirror here to do it. So usually when I go in with my foundation, I just go in with my fingers to begin with. I'm going to go ahead and also zoom you in just a little bit. Oops, that's zooming out. Okay, so I just put about a half a pump on my finger, and I'm just going to start applying this. And typically this is how I do it. I try to get the most coverage right in the center of my face because that's where I have a lot of redness, and then I will just kind of start blending out. And this is a really beautiful foundation. I am just using a Real Techniques. This is the Face and Body Sponge. I love this thing. It's huge. I think I had this in one of my hauls, but it blends out foundations so nicely. So I will say with this one that I could definitely use a pore filling primer with this one. I'm not going to use any sort of primer or setting spray with this foundation today, just for the purposes of this video. So again, let's just kind of work that outwards, and then you just get so much, you can just cover such a wide space, such a wide area of skin with this face and body sponge. It's lovely. Now I'm applying just a hair more than I typically would since my skin is kind of not in the best shape right now from that oil that I did use. Ooh, I've got some fuzz here. So, but this is how I usually apply my foundation. And the only thing about this sponge is it can be hard to kind of get in that crease, the crease of your nose. I try not to get foundation up in under my eye because I am going to go in with concealer, and I try to use as little product as possible under my eyes since I do have dry under eyes. If I cake stuff on under there, it typically looks really, really bad on me. It will crease and just not look good at all. So yeah, I try to avoid getting extra foundation under my eyes. While I'm doing this, I'm going to go ahead and apologize now for not uploading very often. Recently, I am going through a change at work. My schedule is changing, so I'm going to try and pre-film as many videos as I can today because I am going to a Monday through Friday schedule, which is also my daughter's same schedule as well as my husband's, so they will be home on the weekends with me, and I will have to kick them out of the house for a few hours each weekend in order to film so I can have some peace and quiet. So I'm trying to kind of transition with that, and it's really hard when you're trying to grow a YouTube channel because you want to upload as many videos as possible consistently, and yeah, my job is not really friendly for that. So I'm gonna try though really hard to be more consistent and to get more content on here. And definitely, since I am going to 8-hour days, I'm hoping that will help, that maybe I can, occupy my daughter in the afternoons and then get some more videos filmed. So, okay, so that is the foundation applied. It's really, really beautiful. Now, it might have a little bit more of a, I'm going to turn the lights up just a hair so you can see. It might have a little bit more of a dewy finish because I do put a couple drops of oil in my moisturizer usually, but yeah, it's got a really beautiful satin and I would say natural finish. It's just a gorgeous foundation. Yeah, I'll give you some more close-ups in a minute. I am going to try and build this up just a little bit on this area right here where I have gotten some of the some little blemishes, and I'm just going to put a tiny bit because I don't want this to get too cakey too quickly. And also the only place that I'm really starting to show age on my face is my chin. I'm really starting to get some wrinkles down there on my chin, and it looks really, really bad if I have a lot of foundation in those wrinkles because it does tend to settle into those kind of very fine lines that I've got going on my chin, which I'll try and get you a good view of in a minute. So, yeah, I would say that this builds up. This is the first time I'm ever trying to build it up. I typically just go in with one coat of foundation, or one layer, I should say. So, yeah, I would say that it does build up nicely. I wouldn't say that it's building up to a full coverage because I'm going to get real close here. I do have, what you can see, I've got a little sunspot here on my face, and it's not covering that. I also have, this is a little red spot, and I've got a little tiny bit of rosacea going on right here on my cheeks. And I typically do not rely on my foundation to cover those areas of where I need extra coverage because I do use a lot of medium coverage foundation. So I will go in with my foundation, just a light layer, and then I will go back over those areas with concealer. So you can see, I do want you to see that it is not covering those kind of little blemishes that I have, or the redness here, or the redness on the sides of my nose. And when I do come back to do the check-ins, I will have a full face of makeup on, so at that point I will have my concealer on and you will be able to see. So anyways, that is the foundation applied. I'm gonna go do the rest of my makeup, film some more videos, and I will do some check-ins throughout the day. So thank you for watching this first portion. I will be back soon. Bye. Okay, so I am back for the first check-in. I realized after I turned the camera off the first time, after I had finished putting the foundation on, that I forgot a couple of things. So I did not tell you what shade I wear in this foundation. Mine is in the shade 425, and it doesn't have like a shade, oh sorry, yes it does. It's 425 Linen. This is one of the kind of fair to light, more on the fair side, shades, and it is meant for, I think, people with like yellowish undertones. So yeah, it's a really, really nice shade match for me, though. I really do like this. So 425 Linen is the shade that I'm wearing. And I also did not tell you when I finished up putting the foundation on. So I did finish up putting the foundation on at about 8:40, and it is now, let's see, 1:58. So it's been on for right around, gosh, is that 5 hours? I can't do math. 5 hours, 8:40. Yeah, about 5 hours, sorry. So this is what the foundation is looking like. I'm going to go ahead and zoom you in. I do have a ton of natural light coming in on the side, so I do have my ring light in front of me just to kind of make sure that you can see what's going on, but this is a huge bay window right next to me, so and it is a nice sunny day, so there should be tons of natural light. And so let's go ahead and zoom way, way in. And I will show you, it's looking really nice on the forehead. You can see I've got a whole bunch of fine lines because I'm getting old, and it's not settling into the fine lines at all. It's got a nice kind of satin finish to it. It hasn't gotten dewy. It hasn't faded in any way. You can still see the blemishes and things through it. And let me get really, really close. You can still see the little sunspot that I have here, though I did cover it up, and I have also covered up some of the redness with some concealer. The redness is starting to kind of poke through, as well as some of the redness on the side of my nose. So, yeah, it's definitely, very set, I should say. I don't feel like this foundation moves. I definitely feel like it is transfer resistant. This is not one that I worry about getting on my clothes. You can see I have a lot of fine lines right around here on my chin. Not as many on this side as I do on this side, but this side I have a lot of fine lines about right here. And it is not settling in any of the fine lines. I love this foundation. I just think it's really, really beautiful. It looks very natural. You can still see your skin through it. This is 5 hours in, and it still looks as good as it looked when I very first applied it. So I just love this foundation. I just think it's really beautiful. I really feel like the next foundation review I'm going to do is the new Revlon Candid one, because I picked it up at about the same time that I picked this one up, maybe a week later or so. And I've been reaching for those two foundations nonstop. I haven't wanted to use any of my other foundations because these foundations, I mean, the drugstore is just killing it right now with their foundation releases. They're just so good. And if you can pick up foundations this good at the drugstore for, you know, I think this was $12 at Walmart. And I think the Candid one was right around the same price. So two really beautiful foundations for about half the price of what you would pay for a high-end foundation, to me, is just a win. So yeah, this is 5 hours in. This is what it looks like. I'm gonna wear this. I'm gonna try and wear this for a full 10 hours. So the next check-in will be in 5 more hours, and we'll take a look at it and see how it looks. And yeah, you can make your determination kind of based on that if you have similar skin to mine, which is definitely on the drier side. So anyways, guys, I will see you in a little bit. Bye. Okay guys, so this is the last check-in for the night on the L'Oreal foundation that I've been wear testing all day, and I'm going to go ahead and get you zoomed in. It is after 5:40. I can tell you that. You'll just have to trust me. My phone's not near me, but it is after 5:40, so it has been a full 8 hours. I was hoping to do a 10-hour wear test, but my husband's about to be home, and the house is going to get chaotic after that, so I'm going to wrap this up while I still have time and we still have some peace and quiet here. But anyways, so let me go ahead and zoom real close. I'm going to get nice and close. So for me, this is a foundation that gets better as the day goes on. My forehead still looks fantastic. Again, still no settling into any of my fine lines. I've got a nice sheen, which is what I love. I think that that's from the rosehip oil that I use when I put my moisturizer on. It has worn just a hair around my nose, but I have had a runny nose all day, so I have been wiping, and I'm guessing that that's probably where the kind of wear has come from. But you can see right around the cheeks, everything still looks, you can see there's my little sunspot for reference. You can still see where, let's bring this down a bit. Here are some of the fine lines. Here's some of the breakout that I've got from that oil I used. So it's still perfect. It's like I just applied it. Yeah, I love this foundation. It's just really a beautiful foundation. Ooh, I just pressed a button. I hope that that didn't affect anything, but yeah, it's just really beautiful. It's worn beautifully throughout the day. I have worn this to work, and again, I put my makeup on right around 5 o'clock in the morning, get home about 6:30, and this foundation still looks fantastic. So for me and my dry skin, I'm very pleasantly surprised that this one worked so well for me. And yeah, so I do hope that this was a helpful foundation review for you. This is the first one that I'm doing, so if anybody has any suggestions about what I could be doing differently or things that I could be including, anything like that would be super helpful for me. Any kind of feedback that you can give me would be very helpful. So I do hope that this was a helpful video for you. If it was, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.